Good morning, everyone.
Should we give ourselves credit for starting the last show sitting down?
You think
Like
that's what
we changed up
No.
how we did things and therefore they won. So
What did you change up though?
my attitude.
Wasn't what I was going with. I was going hair.
Yeah.
The haircut, I think that's what led to it.
Thanks.
Good
Thanks for
morning,
noticing.
everyone.
You noticed.
Welcome to another edition of Check-In. I'm Sara Lusky. He's Jamie Thomas. The Winnipeg Jets playing this afternoon. It is a 1:00 game here at Canada Life Center against the New Jersey Devils. Game 4 of this 5-game homestand. So that is why we are on here at 10:30. But how nice is it for the first time in almost a month to be able to come in here, all of us talk, all of you in the chat, to be able to talk about a win.
Listen, when talking with my boss the other day, he's like, "Hey, I'm won in a full calendar month." I'm like, slow down. They won on December 15th. It was December, 8th the other day when they won? Was it 9th, the last game? 9th. So that wasn't full calendar month, but it felt like.
Well, it's very close.
And I even thought the losing was wearing on us.
Yeah, well, because you run out of things to talk about. But all of you in the chat, I have to say, and it's great to see so many of you in there already this morning.
It is Wade Flaherty's birthday today. Well done.
That you guys were keeping the optimism, keeping the faith going, that although, yes, it was frustrating, I think that knew that at least a win, it's a building block. It's just one win. But you got to start somewhere. And so the Jets will look to build upon it today. What do we have in store over the next 30 minutes?
So you have to ditch in like 8 minutes.
Yes.
Okay. So you have a broadcast meeting. Sorry, not a broadcast meeting, but an actual interview that will go into the game show today.
Yep.
Game show. The broadcast. And then so we have Sascha Boumedienne coming on the show. Gold medalist.
Ooh.
Winnipeg Jets prospect. First round pick. He'll be joining us here at 10:45. We have some answers from the game the other day.
Yep.
Just a relief. For
sure.
I felt really great for Vladislav Namestnikov.
So did I.
Like 2 minutes in, after being a healthy scratch, he scores. So we're going to hear from them. Eric Comrie, great story. I kind of asked him the other day, I'm like, did it feel different driving to the rink today? And he gave a great story about his wife, Haley, doing something really nice for him.
That was your question?
That was mine.
Oh, nicely done.
But I didn't know that was coming. I just said, was there a different feeling when you drove to the rink today? Because he had his first win since December as well.
Yeah.
And you remember the last game that he played in against Toronto. That was a tough one for everybody. They're up 4-1. They lose 6-5. So you felt great for him. So we're going to hear from him. And then we're going to hear from Danny Zhilkin, of course. Not sure if he's going to be in the lineup today because we have no idea.
That's right.
An optional skate yesterday. So
heavy optional.
And then today, of course, no morning skate or no warm up as well. So,
also,
yes,
who's going to join? Who is going to join you?
I am really ready to.
So this,
So Sara made sure she kind of sandbagged me because I was so excited to run this show by myself. And then you went and got Dan Robertson to watch over me. He texted me and said, "Do you want me to come on the show?" So I feel like you texted him and said he can't do it alone.
Said, "Look, he cannot be unsupervised.
He cannot be unsupervised." So,
I went to create the rundown for today.
Yeah.
And Jamie said, let's be honest, it's going to go off the rails the moment you leave anyway. So what's the point? So that's why we're just kind of freestyling it here today. But Dan Robertson is going to come
in studio.
Yeah.
We haven't done this since Dan Murphy.
For it. It'll be great.
Yeah.
So looking forward, you guys, it'll be great to be able to have Dan join you. He's in a broadcast meeting right now, but he will be here momentarily.
To answer your question about Zhilkin's dad, his dad did make it to watch the game on Friday, and he talked about how the TSN broadcast couldn't find him.
We searched. I have never searched for a parent more than we were taking pictures. We would put someone up during commercial break and say, do you think this looks like his dad? Because we had a picture of his dad to give us an idea of what he looked like, but you don't know how recent the picture was. So could he have gained weight, lost weight, changed his hair? And so I'm searching the crowd looking for him. He wasn't in his seat. We had Danny's girlfriend tasked with also trying to locate him. She wasn't sure where he was either.
Even Danny didn't, like when he talked about it yesterday, he had no idea where he was. Like, I don't know where he was because the third period was such a gong show because the fans were so unreal. The third period was probably the best party I've seen in a long time.
Oh, it was a fantastic atmosphere inside Canada Life Center. But one of the things that we did about Danny's dad, but that Danny's girlfriend had shared was that she wasn't sure where he was watching from, but that he often likes to sit in the end that Danny's shooting on.
Okay.
So she was like, maybe that's what's happened.
Yeah.
Second period, maybe he'll be back to his seat and we just, stay tuned today. We're hoping we find him today if Danny's in the lineup and if he is in the crowd.
What a great, it was so loud. Great job by game presentation. Sorry. Just the music they were playing. There's a lot of sing along going on.
That's my favorite. I love sing-alongs at sporting events.
The fans were.
The wave was going, and I fully admit, look, I'm not a big wave supporter in general, but
Danny Zilkin said he had chills going up his spine when the wave started in the game.
Well, because here's why. It wasn't a lackluster wave.
Yeah.
I cannot stress to you, and I know that, if you've listened to some of the post-game comments, you'll have heard talk about the atmosphere. I spoke to Jonathan Taves immediately after the game on the bench. He was second star and asked him about the atmosphere because it was the single ones. But the wave was both in the lower bowl and upper bowl.
Mm-hmm.
It was full. Everybody seemed to be participating in it. It wasn't a half.
Everybody was in.
Everybody was in.
Commitment was in.
And I cannot say enough good things about what that atmosphere was like.
So if you want to be patted on your back about how great you guys were the other night, here's a couple of guys talking about how cool everybody was in the stands on Friday night.
Yeah, the fans are great here. That even through the losing streak, they were here supporting us. So it was extra loud in the building today when we got the win. So that felt extra nice.
I think they deserved it more than we deserved it. We've been putting them through some tough times, and they've been sticking with us. It's unbelievable to see their support tonight. And there's not a lot of fan bases that would do that. A lot of fan bases would turn on a team after what we've gone through lately, and they've stayed right with us the whole time. And it's been special to see that. And they are the best fans in the NHL for a reason.
See? You guys are the best fans. I'll say this. Someone asked me the day on a radio hit, are the fans booing? And I'm like, no. I heard some frustration at the end of the Oiler game, but I don't think it was so much booing. It was just kind of like a gasp, like, oh man, here we go again. But there was not, and you're always like, remember in Toronto and Edmonton, we've seen jerseys being thrown on the ice. None of that happened. So I give you guys full credit. You guys have hung in there, believed that this is going to turn around eventually. So hopefully there's another win here in store for you guys, and clearly this team, because they need it so badly. And you're right. Yes, Phyllis, the singing was so much fun. There was a lot going on. I felt like beer sales were at an all-time high.
I think so, probably.
Yeah, and then people.
It was a good Friday night at Candlelight Center.
Like one minute before the end of the game, people were standing up and they're giving a standing ovation. That was cool, because I think they've won so much over the last few years. I don't want to say you take it for granted. You almost expect it, and as you should, because they're a good team. But you realize how hard it is to win in the NHL in this situation like this. So.
Well, I also think, and you and I discussed this morning, was just. It wasn't just that they won. And look, the Jets would have taken the 2 points.
Yeah.
However, it happened. Whomever scored, they would have been thrilled with it. With that being said, they had contributions from all four lines.
Yes.
And so to me, it's not just that they won, but it
was a win not driven by the first line
as well. That there was stuff in there that you would be able to repeat to be able to have success going forward. Another 5-1 win. The last time they had won on home ice was December 13th against Washington. It was a 5-1 game.
Yeah.
And then they play tonight this afternoon against a New Jersey team that has had a lot of struggles of its own. Both of these teams, if you go back to the beginning of November, both of them were doing well to start the season, and then it's gone off the rails for both of them. The New Jersey Devils have certainly made headlines in the last week for their losses in epic fashion.
Yeah, they outshot the Rangers. What was 46-29 and lost 9-0.
Well, it's across the board when you look. It's 16-2, I believe, is what they've been outscored in their last 3 games. So you think about the struggles that the Jets have had. At least they were in all the games. And different. Different 16-2 in the last 3 games. And then there's, of course, a ton of speculation going on right now. We know that Dougie Hamilton is going to be a healthy scratch today. Right. Johnny Kovacevic comes back into the lineup, but there was a lot of talk. And last night on Hockey Night, Elliot Freeman talking a lot about what the status is of Dougie Hamilton going forward. So they are making headlines, and not for the right reasons.
Someone made headlines the other night is Eric Comrie. Okay, so you've done home ice with him and his lovely wife, Haley. Lovely lady. Look at these guys. Oh, no, I did.
Okay, focus.
Yeah, okay. I could just.
I know. Just focus.
Okay, lovely wife, Haley. Anyways, Haley had a special surprise for Eric when he got into his car to drive to the rink the other day. Here's the story.
In that sense, did it feel different driving to the rink today then?
Yeah, it was really. I hop in the car and I have 3 pictures of myself. One of myself as a kid, and one of my son wearing goalie pads and one of my daughter in the locker room with me, and she goes, "This is why you play the game," and it was awesome.
And where did she stick them in your car?
She put them right on my driver's side window so I could see them right when I walked in. It was really special.
Eric,
speaks
when you
to
get
the-
contributions from all throughout the lineup, yourself included. What can you see in terms of lifting the pressure on everyone?
I mean, we thought we did it a couple times. We had 3 goals. We had 3 goal leads, 4 goal leads. We had all these different things, and tonight we just. I know what you're saying is like we get contributions and it kind of takes off the pressure, but I mean, we just had to get back to playing and having fun again and just doing what we love to do. And this is a game at the end of the day, and we truly love playing it. I don't think. I mean, you guys get to see what we do in practice and all that stuff, but I don't think you guys get to see how much fun we actually have with each other at this rink and how much we enjoy each other. And for everyone just to go out there and play the kids and just have fun and that takes more pressure off than who scores. I mean, it doesn't really matter. We're just having fun again.
Cool story.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so before you go, let's talk about these.
Okay,
hoodies that
very
you're wearing.
quickly.
Yeah, look how nice they are. Anyways,
So I
there's a
try to
couple
make sure.
options.
It's almost that scuba material,
Right.
you know. Anyways,
'Cause
all
we've all worn scuba material once or
well, I
twice.
think that's
I've
what
got
it's
scuba diving
called.
all the time. Yes, it is. Oh my gosh, it
It's-
feels so nice on the inside. Is it warm?
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Anyways, these might be my new favorite
Okay.
hoodies. I said that I might
They're
have
on
to go
sale,
upstairs
right?
and buy one. 30% off all hoodies right now. So you want to be able to grab some if you're at the game, or you can go to your Jets gear shop as well. 30% off today.
All right.
right,
Here's
I
the
gotta
handoff.
go.
Here's the moment we've all been waiting
Okay.
for.
Here we go.
Ladies
Let's
and
see.
gentlemen, his walking music.
See if Dan excelled in track and field. Huh?
Dan Robertson.
All right, there we go.
Thank you.
Everybody, let me know how this goes. Good luck,
You
gentlemen.
might not want to know how it goes.
That one person studio
We have a
audience.
crowd of one. It's
Oh,
Kevin
hold on a
Sawyer.
second. I got to fix something. You're way taller than Sarah. Tell me if the shot looks good after I zoom out a little bit. Is that good?
Yeah,
Yeah.
my head is still massive, but can't do anything about genetics.
But at least your head's not cut off. Dan
That's
Robertson,
true.
everybody.
Hi, Jimmy.
Sascha Boumedienne is going to be joining us here eventually to talk about the gold medal at the World Junior Hockey Championships. As you see, people are saying, "Hi, Dan." Listen, I once read someplace in Sports Illustrated a long time ago, Matthew, and we will hold Jamie accountable. Thank you, Matthew. That one of the toughest jobs in sports is to be a broadcaster for a team that is struggling. Would you agree with that, or is it not as tough as they make it sound like in the article?
I don't think it's that tough. I've gone through it. That's
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
I used to do radio for the Canadians, and the year they went to the Cup final,
Yeah.
the next year was a disaster. It was Groundhog Day every day. They lost the same way. They give up early goals. They couldn't get back into it. But didn't work for the team then. I don't work for the team now. Maybe
Yep.
if I worked for the Jets, it would be a little more difficult.
That
but-
yeah, that's true.
You know
I
what I
never thought
mean?
of that way. Yes.
But I'm always, and you know me, I'm not maybe the most optimistic human being in the world, but I'm so grateful for what I do. I'm like, there's always a good story to tell,
Yeah.
whether it's Danny Zhilkin coming in,
Mhm.
during a losing streak. There's always something positive to talk about. And, the worst day in the NHL is, the worst day is
Best play by pen in hockey.
something like that. Oh God, thank you, Mark. But yeah, there's never a bad day, I should say. in the
No,
NHL.
and here's the thing, like maybe from a perspective, Sarah and I were talking about, like it was a grind coming up of ways to present to our viewers
Yeah.
about the game coming up and trying not to sound like we're drinking the blue Kool-Aid too much because we're paid by the team.
Yeah.
But like when you guys were going through your stories, you found enough stuff to make things interesting, correct?
For sure. And a lot of that falls on Kevin Sawyer and Kevin Pratt and
Yeah.
Sarah. For me, I just kind of call the game. I do have a little bit of input not input in the scripts, but obviously my when we're on the road and I host, I get a little more
Yeah.
to say. But the thing is, it's Kevin and I actually chat, and we kind of said, if things keep going this way, we're going to have to get creative, right, to tell good stories. But I don't think, we didn't expect them to keep losing. So
Yeah.
we knew it would turn at some point. But it can be a challenge. And sometimes you talk about drinking the blue Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
If you're positive when things aren't going well and you're ignoring some things that are happening that are bad, you're going to look like a fool on TV, right?
Yes.
You have to be honest.
Especially with our fan base.
For sure,
Yeah.
because they're knowledgeable. So
Yeah.
you got to be careful that way.
Okay, so how good was it to call that game the other night?
It was great. And I think my favorite part was the third period
Yeah.
when there was this spontaneous singing and the wave came back. It's
Yeah.
like, it's
Sarah kind of said it was like there was like a lot of people are invested in the wave. A lot of people just go, but
Yeah.
they were actually a lot of people were like fully invested in the wave on
No,
Friday night.
It's true. And it was almost like a victory, not to sound corny, but a victory for the for the Jets fan base. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
okay, the dam finally broke. So that's why I'm interested to see what happens today, because
They got to do it again.
Yeah, and they have to feel better though. That weight is off. What was it Arnie said? The 200 weight came off our back. So
Another thing too, like I heard a lot of from the players is like they had to have fun again.
Yeah.
And that they weren't having fun.
Yeah.
Because it can't. The hardest part, and I think people can understand this, is when things don't go well, you have to talk about it.
Yeah.
There's not many jobs in the world where things aren't going well at work and you have to talk about it, not only that night but the next day.
Yeah.
And then again before the next game.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine that has to be fun, because I give the players credit because they came out, they do their best. You get the couple times where you get the 5-word answers, which is understandable how things were going. But the way that they were losing games as compared to what we saw on, like, the Kings are a good team. Yes, they're missing some key players. Did Sarah get a haircut?
Yeah, I saw it. Said Sarah Lesky and Jamie Thomas. That's cool.
Oh, look at this. She's a shapeshifter. Tremendous.
Yes. Not a good shape.
There's a lot of them. That's how. But the way things went against the Oilers as compared to the way the game against the Kings, like, it was just night and day.
Yeah.
Is that how you felt watching it? And
I did. I mean, it's against the Oilers. The problem is they have those two guys.
Yes.
That can grab a game by the throat at any point. And,
Right.
You kind of knew that coming in. And that late second period goal when McDavid scored, I thought, okay, the Jets are in trouble, even though they were up 1. And I'm not the only person who felt that way. But I kind of thought, I looked at the Kings coming in. I was chatting with a buddy of mine who covers them, and he wasn't so optimistic about them. But it's not cliche. Any team can beat you on any given day. Like the Devils are struggling.
right.
You can't afford not to play your best or you're going to lose. So when they get into that game and I found that the Jets were really on their toes to start and not tentative. And obviously the Kings never got that goal to make it a 1-goal game. Other than, really early when the Jets scored, but they got up big. And so I think it was a good game for the Jets to kind of be able to breathe a little bit.
Mhm.
And just to get back to what you talked about, I liked how Eric Comrie said, we had fun, and didn't have fun in his last outing in Toronto. He didn't take that game well. So I thought what he said after the game really made a lot of sense.
Well, for him to talk about how it was weighing on him and how he was kind of almost taking it home. And then Dylan DeMello said that morning of that game about how he didn't want to turn his family into punching bags.
Yeah.
When he got home, when things were tough, and the way you go home, and his son would talk to him about the game, and he gets mad at him when he takes a penalty and asks him what happened, what's going on. So I think there's some clarity there. And what Eric was also saying, he has 2 kids, he's got 2 dogs. There's all these great things to go home to, and almost it reminds you quickly what's really important. And I know what happens on the ice is really important. We're not downplaying that, but a lot of these guys have families that they go home to on a nightly basis. That kind of helps in those situations.
It does. And maybe it's something we don't talk about very often, but I'm glad you bring it up. I mean, guys with their partners, or whether it's their kids or their families, there are people to support you when times get tough.
Right.
And times have been tough mentally for the Jets prior to the win against the Kings. So just to have that support structure is a great thing. I think, no matter who you are, no matter what you do, but especially in these situations. So
Keep talking, because I'm just sending another link to Sascha. So
you're texting Sarah, please come back and get this guy off.
Oh no, it's never that case. Like, Sarah and I spent so much time together. Like, this is almost cathartic that this is happening. So,
yes. Well, you and I used to spend a lot of time together, right? We'd sit together on the plane.
I sat beside Dan on the plane. We had a lot of laughs. That is the part where, because I go on the one trip I went on this year was the Edmonton game, and you guys it was a hockey night game.
Right.
So you weren't on. The one time I decided to travel, you were not there. So we've had a lot of conversations, but most times when we were on those flights, they were winning.
Yeah.
So, I think of the last road trip where they went 0 for 3 in Ontario and Detroit. I mean, those flights home are not fun when you go from place to place.
They're not. It's so funny. They go from, if you win, and obviously, again, I don't work for the team. I want them to win because it makes everybody's life better. But you're on the road and they win, you get on the plane afterwards and there's a light mood and you're in a good mood and you think, I called a good game. Then they lose. You think, I didn't call a very good game. And it's quiet. And I mean, that's the way it is, right? But it's such a long season. I think it pays to be even tempered, no matter who you are, if you're around the team.
Okay. So when things aren't going well, sometimes the people tend to look at, okay, you got to blow this all up. And Phyllis brought that up. Like, the players, the one thing I've always working for a team, what it has taught me is that they wear a lot of the because going on the plane with them afterwards, it tells you all the things you need to know, how much it wears on them. You've been on when it's tough, but the idea that they're not trying to win is insanity.
Yeah.
Especially when you're a year removed from a President's Trophy and realizing how close you took another step towards the Stanley Cup, the ultimate goal.
Yeah.
I don't think any players going, oh, it's game 43. It's time to shut her down. Like that's just not how it works.
That's not how they're programmed. That's
No.
not, if they were that way at all, they wouldn't be in the National Hockey League.
Yes.
It's people talk about, not to get off topic, but this team should tank or that team should tank. Players never tank.
No.
Management might make some moves.
The organization might make some choices to make it a little bit harder to win in order to eventually get the pick that they want.
Yeah, look at the Penguins back in 1984 to get Mario. They traded the farm different times, but
every once in a while, a player like that will roll. And then you even think about the year where Edmonton and Buffalo were so terrible, and they get McDavid and Eichel, two franchise-changing players. And here's another thing: from the people I've talked to, there aren't in this draft year. There isn't a franchise changer. Like McKenna, it gets a lot of attention, and we can list off the other guys that are up there in the rank in the top 10. But what I have heard, and it may not necessarily be true, they're not franchise changers that they're going to come in next year and change everything you're doing.
Yeah.
So that's the tough part where you get into those where you're asking for that to happen. That's really not realistic.
It's not realistic, and even if it does happen, it doesn't guarantee anything.
Yeah.
So if I mentioned calling games from the Canadians, they had a terrible season years back. They got the 3rd overall pick, and they got Jesperi Kotkaniemi. With due respect to him, now he's, he might be traded. He's on the outside looking in. So so much depends in a draft. In a draft year, it can go from great to 1 year to poor, that are not as strong the next year. So there are no guarantees in this world, Jamie.
Well, just look how long it took the Jets to get to where their core group, how high those picks were. And it wasn't just 1 year, it was over 5-6 years to get your Troupas, your Morrisseys, your Ehlers, your Scheifeleys. Like, I can go down the list of the players that they've had to draft to get to where they are today. You don't want to get to that place. So that's a tough one. So Kenny's water bottle always wants to know, does the TSN crew travel on the same charter as the team, or do they do their own thing where they need to get to the next place?
Kevin and I travel with the team, but the rest of our crew travels commercially. So, and we hear about it as we should. So, but it saves the day, because so many times, if it's the second of a back-to-back, like next week we're in Chicago, and then here against St. Louis the next day. Yeah. So, if you don't travel with the team, our crew is amazing. Sometimes you have to there's not a direct flight back to Winnipeg or to your next city. So it really saves the day, and it's one of the best parts of the job, to be honest with you.
Because one of our peers in the business, I believe the New York Islanders, they don't travel with the team, right? They're a radio crew. So
there's a lot of the Toronto Maple Leafs don't.
Right. So getting from here to, especially here, it would be challenging, would it not?
It would be. And then, that weather can cause delays and that sort of thing. And you could risk not getting there in time. So it's a great part of the job, and it helps us be a little more fresh than we would normally.
What do you like about broadcasting matinee games?
I like the fact that I have my evening to myself. No, I also like the fact there's going to be a lot of kids here today.
Yeah.
Right? So you talk about energy, and that brings it. It's kind of cool. We'll come back from break, and our producer, Kevin Pratt, will get the camera people to shoot around, and they know what to shoot anyway, but lots of shots of kids having a good time. So that's part of it. It's interesting though, isn't it? It's the 3rd and 4, but it's almost the 3rd and 3.5 days because of an early start. So I'm not sure what we're going to see early, but it'll be interesting.
So Sascha hasn't shown up yet. So anybody want to ask Dan a question? I'm more than happy to tap dance here. I will not.
That's tap dance,
hypothetically, or is that what the
I
term
understand
is?
what you mean.
So if anybody has any questions for Dan, he's more than happy. But I have tons to ask. Jonathan Toews. For the longest time, the biggest concern of this hockey team is the secondary scoring. Now it looks like they have the second line that they've been hoping for.
Mm-hmm.
How much did we, and I'm not saying everybody, how much did we almost overestimate what Jonathan Toews could do after being off for 2 years?
Yeah.
And is coming back, and especially with the hectic schedule on top of that.
Well, it's almost unprecedented, right?
Yes.
So I don't think anybody, even Jonathan, knew what to expect. And you could see, not to rip him, but early in the comeback, he was fighting simple passes. They were bouncing off his stick. It took him a while. I mean, the strong stride was still there, and it's still Jonathan Toews. But in the last little while, I just see him being that much sharper, whether it's, knocking down bouncing pucks or being in the right place at the right time, or because you think about it, and I know it's cliche, the game does get faster every year. I have no doubt about that. Like if you look back to maybe 10 years ago, and if you were to watch a game,
Well, you even watch the 80s, like it's just like another.
no, it's another sport.
It's like everything's on steroids.
Yeah. So he's had to deal with that, and to learn kind of even muscle memory wise where to be and what to do, and just let your instincts take over. And you talk about getting a win against the Kings and lifting the weight off your back.
Yeah.
So he gets a little tap in from the goal mouth where, he was where he should have been. You could see the relief. Like when Vladdy scored, you could see the relief.
Mhm.
So I want to know where he goes from here. I don't expect a 30-goal pace or anything, but just a gradual improvement, I think would be right on par. And it's an interesting line with Perfetti and Velarde right now.
Do you think the conversation came out the other day about breaking up? Oh, how is Dan and the broadcast team finding the condensed schedule to deal with? That's a good question.
Well, we do 60 of 82 games, so it's not as difficult as it is for Paul and Mitchell.
Mhm.
Not to speak for them, but that's the truth. So, like for me, how do we deal with it? Personally, it's fine. I think it affects the game itself, the play, and we'll see that. I think leading into the break over the next couple of weeks, I think we're going to see a little downturn in the quality of play across the league, but
Yeah.
that's what you deal with.
What is Dan's game day meal?
Whatever they serve upstairs. Yeah. So.
And then, okay, so anything on the road that you kind of like?
Not really. Just
Favorite
whatever-
Restaurants. Let's go with that.
Favorite restaurants. There's Lindy's in Columbus,
'Kay.
which might be off the.
Where's Lindy's?
Lindy's is in Germantown or German Village. I
Okay.
can never remember, but it's.
Oh yeah, Columbus underrated, by the way. Great town,
I
great
agree.
city.
Yeah. So that always sticks out to me. My buddy Mark Denis, who played for the Blue Jackets for a year, said you got to go to Lindy's.
Okay.
And not too fancy and not too expensive, but really good. I went there on a birthday a couple of years ago. There was me and Ken Weber.
Great guy to go
Ken
with.
Weber's. If
Okay,
that's
listen, Ken,
last name.
Weber, he's like the
food-
fountain of information.
He is the food
You need to
man.
know anything about flights, packing, where to eat,
Joy level,
joy level.
water bottles.
Yeah, there's a person on here representing his water bottle. If you need to know anything about traveling or going anywhere, he's the guy to go. But anyways,
Yeah, for sure.
as you're saying about outside of Columbus, what's another great restaurant you like to go to?
Oh gosh. Not as much. This is a real turn. As I try and think of a restaurant, there's a couple of places in the league I like to go to get ties.
Yeah. Okay.
There's one, Heinz Healy in Pittsburgh. It's right across from the hotel where we stay. Great guys there.
Cannot let Ken Weeb hit the buffet first, obviously.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Kenny walks it all off. He's in great shape. So I'll tell you my quick tie story. I
Okay,
go
yeah,
in
sorry.
to buy a tie.
Yep.
And I'd been coming for years, so they kind of know me. And he said, "I have something you might like." I said, "Okay." He said, "It's an Argentinian poncho." I said, "What? An Argentinian poncho? Let's take a look." So it was, I don't know, hand woven by somebody, and it was the worst thing I've ever seen. And he said, "It's on for $600 if you'd like to buy it now." And I didn't buy the poncho. So
A poncho.
a poncho,
When was the last time you wore a poncho?
1981.
Boston University PR just let me know something came up that Sascha can't make it, but he'll do it another time, which
Awesome.
is great. Does Dan have much time to take in some sites on the road trips?
Sometimes depends, as you know, when we get to town. Sometimes you might have 2 days in a city, which is great.
Yeah.
But I guess I've done it for so long. Sometimes now I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to stay in the room and do some work. Although we had an extended stretch in Philadelphia in October. We had
Great
a game
city.
it is. We had
Yes.
a game at Long Island.
Yep.
And then my daughter came and met me from Nova Scotia, and we were in Philly for like 3 days. So I finally got to really take a good long look at it. And sometimes I kick myself. I think I should push myself to get out and see more because you have that opportunity. But that was a really special trip. I was really impressed.
Someone asking in the chat, how annoying is it to work with Sarah Oleski? Is it grueling?
I would say it's absolutely zero when it comes to annoying.
Right.
Not at all. Come on.
Any game day superstitions?
None. I
feel that was so rude that person asked that question, but I can't not ask the
I
question.
am not superstitious at all. People were ripping Kevin for saying that McDavid hadn't scored against the Jets. And then they scored.
Sarah mentioned that the other day too. Hadn't
Oh.
scored against Connor Hellebuck.
Yeah.
But that's a stat you have to bring up because 9 games had gone
Yeah.
by. That's noticeable. You have to bring
Oh,
up.
yeah.
That's something that is, considering that guy can pretty much score whenever he wants. That means something outside of the, of course, Four Nations
But
face off.
if Kev had that much power, I'd be pretty impressed.
A poncho. Why did he think that Dan would like to be the man with no name?
Pancho Villa.
Does Dan have a routine checklist he goes through to prep for games?
Yeah. So last night actually, it's weird because today obviously is an early start, so it's thrown off a little bit.
Yeah.
But I'll go through everything and, points and trends and everything like that. And when I get upstairs, and I'm usually up there by now, but I had something else to do.
Yeah, right.
No, I'll go over things again.
It's because Sarah big time does.
Yeah,
I
I understand.
yeah.
So our great statistician, John Matheson, is beside me, and I'll look at things and get John. I must drive him nuts. Can you verify this for me?
Yeah.
Can you verify it for me? Because, I always make little mistakes here and there, but you try and cut them down as much as you can.
Let's see. Dan's favorite restaurant in Winnipeg. Good question.
It's closed now. And why am I drawing a blank? It's going into it's right beside the Dollarama by the hotel there, the Asian fusion place.
Good.
God, come on, Dan.
What type of food?
Asian fusion.
Asian fusion. Okay.
No confusion. It's Asian fusion.
Okay, gotcha.
Why can't I think of it? It's moving into the market.
Okay.
Eventually at the basement. Hermano's is good. I enjoy that. There's a McDonald's on Sherbrooke where I get a McRib. No, that's not true.
Sarah's the best to talk to as a fan. She's very good at what she does. Oh my Lord. Phyllis, I love you, but like Sarah gets so much love in this place. Like someone has to reverse the trend here. She's sitting over there. She can't even leave the studio long enough to not check up on me. That's unbelievable. Does Kevin always rent motorcycles?
Merchant Kitchen. That's the place.
Okay,
I was
Merchant
thinking of.
Kitchen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does Kevin rent motorcycles?
Yeah.
Only when we go to California. He did that once during when we had an extended stay.
Yeah.
And that's a guy, he makes the most of everything. Where I'm in the room, cutting my toenails and doing homework, he's out on a motorcycle riding around the world. So
The last year Bayek was doing your job. He took us to Pebble Beach. We rented. He's like, I'm renting a van. We're gonna go to Pebble Beach. I'm like, okay, that sounds fine. But I'm with you. Like he always wants to go somewhere.
No, it's true, and it's a good way to be, right? Because we get the opportunity to travel. So,
but then you feel like I feel like sometimes there's like, I'm coming back here. So
yeah,
I'll do it next time I get here.
Yeah.
But I'm with you. Sometimes I like to sit in the hotel room and not do much.
No, I'm good at that.
Thank you. Somebody loves me in this place. I really.
Well, they should.
Okay. Before they take, what have you been hearing about the Devils? It's unbelievable the way they started.
Yeah.
Congratulations to Brendan Dillon, former Winnipeg Jet, recently had 1,000 games. But with what they have, Luke Hughes signs that big long extension. He's making $9 million. Dougie Hamilton's making $9 million.
Yeah.
Jack Hughes is back. He's healthy. There's enough pieces there that you would think the Devils would be ready to make some noise, but it has not gone well for them lately.
No, I mean, they've had injuries, but it seems, speaking of Jack Hughes, he's had a lot of injuries over the last 3 years. I think it's 56 games he's lost in that time. Their shooting percentage since the 14th of November is 6%, I think, and the league average at that time is 10.9%. You look, and it's almost a mirror image of what the Jets have gone through. A lot of guys who have 2 goals in 20 or 1 in 9 sort of thing. So, but I mean, the loss they had the other day was crazy, 9-0 to the Islanders, where they weren't that vastly outplayed. They outshot them, I think, 44-24.
Yeah, it was gross. How do you lose a game like that?
I don't know. And this Dougie Hamilton thing now, where he's basically in the trade block. Kovacevic is back, so Hamilton was told he won't play. It's tough times for them right now. And a few years ago they were that breakthrough team.
Yes.
And you thought, okay, they're everybody's darling.
Because they had enough high draft picks. There's Luke Hughes was the next thing too as well. And
it just goes to show you that there are no guarantees, right? And Luke Hughes is being booed now. I mean, it's tough.
Does Dan research the proper name pronunciation of new players, or does a team's PR make sure that information gets out?
That's funny. You can go to the league site and it'll be said one way. You can click a button, it'll tell you audio wise the way the name is. Then you'll hear a different pronunciation from the announcer. But you go to the player. The worst is when you go to the player and you say, okay, Jamie, how do you want me to
I was
pronounce
about to
your
ask you
last
about this.
year?
Yes.
Like Evgeny Dodonov, who's playing tonight. I asked him when he came to Montreal, how do you want me to say your last name? I don't care. I said, well, I do. How do you want me to say it? Say it however you want. I'm like, because of your Dadonov, Dodonov, Dodonov.
I've said 3 different versions of that, yes.
But it means a lot to me. You try and get it right. If you can talk to the player, that's the way to do it.
Well, how about Joel Armia? Is Joel Armia when he came here?
When he came to Montreal, I said, hi, I'm Dan Robertson. He said, I'm Joel Armia. I said, you're who now? He said, I'm Joel. I said, you want to be called that instead of Joel?
Excuse me.
So he said, yeah, I want Yoel. So I emailed everybody at TSN. Bob McKenzie emailed me back. He goes, oh, something. It was just kind of a sarcastic comment, really funny. But I thought, oh God, Bob just emailed me. I shouldn't have opened this can of worms. But now, yesterday I was talking with John Kelly, the Kings broadcaster, 2 days ago. He said, no, he wants to be called Joel. So you can't win whether it's Yoel or Joel or whatever it is.
Well, you'll always be Dan Robertson to me.
Yeah, well, I don't know if that's a good thing or not.
You got some responsibilities to do. Thank you so much for checking in with
pleasure.
us. I like you filling in for Sarah. There's obviously a lot of love for you in here. You do some great things, and have a great call today.
I will. Good to talk with you.
Thanks, man. That's Dan Robertson. Sarah Lesky's just over here checking in with us as well. It is the Jets. It is the Devils at 1 o'clock. Make sure you watch it on TSN or listen to it on CJOB at Power 97. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Have a great day.